welcome back to Dadnarok. This is Sean,
And this is Chris.
and tonight we're going to talk about a brand new show on Apple TV Plus called The Last Frontier. Premiered on Friday the 10th. It's going to be a weekly release that you and I, if we like it, we're going to stick around and talk about it each week.
Yes, and so far so good. I mean, we didn't know we were getting into it. Looked at the preview to it, the trailer, and it looked like a lot of Con Air-ish kind of feel to it in Alaska,
Yeah,
which is fun by itself. So
yeah.
yeah, and we're live. We're interactive. If you guys are watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you're doing, what you think, because we'll pull your comment straight up on here and we'll address it as well. So this show is a lot more fun when you guys interact with us. It's not us two schmucks.
We're very interactive. You can jump on here, and there's no paywall. You don't have to pay us $5 to have your comment on screen. We'll put it up for free.
Yeah, because we're cheap. No.
Yeah, we're cheap
No one
bait.
wants to pay us.
Yeah.
But let's jump into
Um,
this. What was so you watched both episodes? Did you watch them back to back, or did you watch one day and come back and watch the other?
I split them up because I actually went to um, well, I visited with my mom and watched them with her.
Okay.
Because every now and then I'm like, you know, looking for something because she watches a ton of TV. And I watch very limited TV. Usually when I do watch it, it's something like that you and I are going to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's very specific, very pointed. But you and I saw the trailer, and like you said, it looked like Con Air in Alaska, which just the premise of like convicts being loose in a town. That's like one thing that Con Air didn't even like touch on very much. It was more like they were in the air most of the time. It was
Yeah.
about Nick
And when
Cage
they
and
were on
stuff.
the ground, they were in Vegas with all the people and everything. So we didn't get the interaction with the general public.
Right. So it adds this whole other layer of like, well, what if these convicts all separate and they're like amongst a town of people, like a small town of people, a
Mm.
secluded town of people, which is even higher stakes, right?
Yeah.
And just the setting of Alaska, like I watched the latest True Detective that was set in Alaska, and I think it's just fascinating as a setting because of like the daytime hours versus the nighttime hours, and you have the element of the cold, just
Yeah.
adding like a whole other threat to being outside and stuff. So I think just like you remember that movie 30 Days of Night where the vampires lived up in some Alaskan town or whatever.
Very, very vaguely. I'm not.
It was a comic
Yeah.
series too, but that same thing where they used Alaska as like a premise, like it's an added element to the danger. But yeah, I just thought you and I watched the trailer and we were all about it. So I was like, she may be into this. Like it looks like it's action, looks like drama, looked like Jason Clarke I was aware of as far as the main actor here.
Yeah. The sheriff.
Um,
Yeah. Or
yeah,
marshal.
yeah, he actually played. I don't know if you remember, he played John Connor in one of the recent bad Terminator movies.
I recognized him. I
Yeah,
mean, I didn't do a deep dive and exactly look into his filmology, but I
yeah.
mean, I recognize him. Did we get? Here's a question for you. Did we get a time frame that this is taking place? Is this in the summer where there's like 18, 19 hours of sun, or is this in the winter where there's a lot less?
I got a feeling there was a one part of dialogue where he reminded the team that they were running like every 8 minutes the sun was going low or something. So something told me that this was a part of the year where the days were shorter. Like maybe they only get like 6 hours of sunlight or something.
Okay, or it was at the back end of the summer where the days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter as they go.
Right, that's what I
Okay,
thought. Yeah, that we definitely have more nighttime hours than we do daytime hours in this time of the year there.
yeah. Now I watched it today, earlier today, and I watched them back to back. And if you guys been watching this for a while or pay attention, I kind of judge it by did I pick up my phone? And
Yeah,
basically watching 2 hours of television back to back. I mean, essentially it's a movie, but I
yeah,
didn't pick up my phone once. It had me sucked in and had my attention grabbed from the get-go. And like you were saying, the Con Air kind of feel to it. Uh the whole thing, and even when it got beyond the actual crash and everything, and you start learning about some of the other characters in the town that they crashed in, and just that dynamic and how that whole town has no idea what it's in for.
yeah.
That's it's very intriguing to me. I really enjoyed that, and it's got this fish hook in me, and I'm coming back for more. I can't wait for Friday, frankly.
Yeah, Jason Clarke plays a guy named Frank Remnick. It's
Yes.
and his son is Luke, and his wife is Sarah. Um, and yeah, your notes are messed up. I
Really?
had
I thought it was Jack.
no, his name's Frank.
Okay, well, whoopsie. He's the
Jack.
Marshall man.
Wait, I didn't even check Sarah. Is Sarah right? Did you get all three wrong?
Right, Tate, right, yeah. I
No,
heard
Sarah's
anything else.
right. It's Sarah.
Oh,
Uh,
you know where I got Jack from?
from
Later in ep
the
episode
lady.
2 when he calls the
Yeah.
CIA and he calls her Jack.
Yeah, and I think Jack is short for Jacqueline or something. Like, yeah. So that's the I I see her and I just think of Amanda Waller from
Yep.
Suicide Squad.
She always
And
find
she's
herself playing a very similar role.
yeah, she seems to be playing the same character almost. So that was pretty
She's kinda
funny.
typecasted.
Yeah. And that's another thing. So this guy, Frank Remnick, he's a US Marshal, but also the sheriff of this small town. Is he both? I was kind of confused by that.
I think he's just the marshal. The
Okay.
US Marshal, and kinda like if you're in a rural area out like in the States, where,
Yeah.
like, the sheriff actually is, kind of they don't have their own police force.
Yeah.
I think it falls down that lines. That's kinda how I took it.
Yeah, because he's definitely playing a role as though he is the sheriff. Because there's no other character that's like, "Well, I'm the sheriff around," you know what I mean? Like, nobody's
Yeah,
vying for power. It seems like he is the lead of the police force there in this small town. Um, and we get a look at him and his family dynamic. He heads to work. We find out that his family is in the midst of buying this cabin,
yeah.
which seems to be fairly remote. I mean, the town itself is remote because it's in Alaska, but
Yeah, then
it's
it's
even
even further off the map,
yeah. I
for
guess
this
they're
cabin.
wanting to turn it into a bed and breakfast or something.
Yeah, apparently, and it sounds like, when we met, Sarah, it was like there was something that took place. We don't know what it was because she said, "I can't put the family back together again."
Right, right,
So I don't know, and they hinted towards well, they didn't hint toward, they said he spent a year in Chicago, I think it was,
right.
and he just the city wasn't for him, so something happened there, which
Yeah.
led to him going back to Alaska, and I don't know if it was an injury, to me, it sounds like it was an injury, almost,
Could
with her
be.
being a nurse and her he nursing him back to health. I feel like it was an injury of some sort. But what it was, they don't say. And this when they got to the whole dynamic with, the 2 of them, and she was like it was I guess it's her dream to actually have a bed and breakfast, and it was his turn to go ahead and retire after 18 years with the Marshalls to give
Yeah.
her that opportunity.
See, I got a feeling that and it's funny because the show kind of throws you head first into their family dynamic, which apparently like the marriage has at one time been strained, but is at a better place right now.
Yeah,
Like you can imagine maybe they had some therapy or maybe he was like way too into work and was kind of ignoring problems with his family. That's I kind of get that sense with the later
yeah.
conversation between those two.
They said we're on
And
solid ground right now.
yeah, and then his son Luke apparently has had some issues with either acting out or behavioral issues or depression
Mhm.
or something along those lines
Yeah,
because they kind of mention his mental health and it seems like they're getting their footing together as a family and then it's just like out of nowhere this plane drops, which I guess we should talk about like how the show opens itself. It almost reminded me of Lost, like to open up a show with a plane crash is kind of crazy.
yeah. No, it was nuts, and that was something I kind of keyed on because I'm like I was trying to figure out what was going on because they were at Ellison Air Force Base in Alaska, and
Yeah,
that's where they picked up the main protagonist here at Havlock.
yeah,
And we don't know who he is. All we know is he walks in. He reminded me of Sid from Con Air. You should have put the bunny back in the box. Uh,
right. Very like
situation.
Hannibal Lecter type.
Yeah, and he sits down and he had a tooth out. Like, how did he get that? That threw me. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest, right out the gate, and like there was some continuity thrown off there for me. That jerked me out real quick. I was like,
yeah,
how did he get the tooth out with the pick to pick the lock on his handcuffs?
yeah,
But as soon as he did that, there was an explosion. But when they loaded him on the plane, it's like I think there were people on that plane that knew who he was,
Oh, for sure.
because there was some reactions from these prisoners that just kind of smiled and kind of nod their head like something's up.
Yeah, the whole sequence of events in this plane, I think we'll probably have to go back to from time to time. It'll be interesting once we get more context over a few episodes to go back to the plane scene. And maybe even the show will do this itself to like show us some other things that happened during that, 90-second sequence of the plane going down or whatever. But like
Yeah,
a ton happens. Where it's like, because 'cause you've got guards that are fighting with regular inmates, you've got the plane getting thrown around, you've got the explosion on the side of the plane that
yeah.
kind of disrupts everything. You're like, did this, Hemlock or Havlock guy, cause that, or was it the CIA? It's my impression that everybody is claiming that this was part of, like, his escape plan or something, but then at the same time, when he's talking to Jack, the CIA, lead directly, he's like, "Yeah, you keep letting people think that you did that," because it seems like he's of the impression that they were trying to kill him.
If they were going to down the plane, who's going to question the down plane full of criminals,
Right, exactly.
lifers? They're never going to see the light of day again anyway. So only the ones that have been innocent on there would have been, the other marshals and the pilots, which they would have looked at it based on what I'm feeling from this show is, just just casualties of war essentially.
Yeah, and there's tons of questions around this guy. He's played, by a guy named Dominic Cooper, who I did not recognize at first, and we'll get into the old switcheroo, but eventually find out it's Dominic Cooper. But he was act do you remember the show Preacher on AMC?
I do remember the show. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
watch
he
it.
was Preacher. Now, it was like 10 years ago or something, so, his face is a little fuller these days. But yeah, that's a
Are
guy
all
that
of ours? Oh, I smacked the
yeah,
mic.
all of our faces are. But he's this guy. There's so many questions around him. Like, the entire time, I'm still wondering, like, how dangerous is he? Will he I don't know. I don't we'll get there, we'll get there. As far as talking about
Well, I
him
mean, when they
kidnapping
were
Sarah.
on the plane, it almost reminded me of the Shang-Chi bus scene. The way he was just whooping up on everybody.
Right,
And it gave me Jason Bourne vibes. Like,
right.
I get Con Air from the plane, and then based on one of the characters, Sydney, we'll talk about a little bit later. She's like, he was trained in all these different aspects. It makes me feel that it's almost that type of training, and that's why they're so scared of him.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. So this plane goes down, and the show kind of keeps his identity a mystery, because we see this guy. He's fully hooded. He has a mask on. You don't know what actor is playing him or anything. And then he's like fighting people with the mask on. And then when the plane's down, he finally takes the mask off. It shows him from behind. And then later in that same first episode, it kind of lingers on this one actor, which, by the storytelling
Mhm.
mechanics, because it lingers, it's shot on this one guy, you're like, "Oh, that must be the guy. That must be Havelock."
Yeah.
Only to pull a switcheroo, and then it focuses on this guy, him, like, running into some hermit and, out in the middle of nowhere with the sled dogs, and they go to find him, but it's not I guess it's not the guy.
Well, the crazy thing is in that sequence that the FBI agent, Sydney, didn't know. I mean, of everyone there, she would have known that wasn't him.
That's another thing. Yeah, so there's another character, Sydney Schofield. She is, like, working for the CIA, but also kind of afraid that the CIA is trying to put her to sleep too.
Yeah, well, they
Um,
pushed her out. She was a part of the CIA, a part of
yeah,
this project, and the project when it went sideways. They had mentioned that the attorney general is investigating her, thinking that
yeah.
she's a part of this of Havelock going sideways, and they were going to try to lock her up because that's I got that from the birthday party.
Which, like, maybe she is. Like, there's nothing in this show has raised a bunch of questions without really answering any of them just yet.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know Havelock's true intentions. I don't know Schofield's true intentions. The one thing that I can hang my hat on is that I know, Remnick's true intentions, right? But even him, there's mystery around him, like, he probably has a history about that we don't know about, you know what I mean? Was he, like, black ops at a time? Is that why he was able to
Well,
handle himself?
I think there's a connection between Havlock, Chicago, and Remnick.
Right.
I don't think this is a coincidence that these people have found each other.
Well, Schofield even says he chose you for some reason,
Yeah. I think
like,
there's a
it's
connection
personal.
to when he was in Chicago because they keep on. I'm gonna flip forward to episode 2
Yeah,
where Sydney is actually looking to find their guy, and they find Havelock, and he's like I don't know if he's a professor, but he was having speaking, gigs where he's talking about things and planes going down and all this other stuff. Which I think the planes going down was just just a story time plot line
right,
for him,
little Easter
but
egg.
when they're talking there and they're sitting down at the table and he's working with like malware and attacks and he's kind of working in that gray zone where he knew he did nothing wrong, like he can't be prosecuted for anything, but she's looking for a guy like him. So,
Right.
and we don't know where that scene takes place. I have a sinking suspicion that scene takes place somewhere in the Chicago area,
It wasn't
which
a big
would
city.
which
Yeah.
would connect Remnick to him in that aspect. And they may not even know that there's a connection. Like Remnick may have no idea what there's a connection, but Havelock knows.
Right. Right, that could very well be. It's funny, it's crazy, and we see me and Chris are, like, all over the place right now because a lot happened in these first 2 episodes. Like, they drop a lot on you, and they kind of
Yeah.
expect you as a viewer to kinda keep up with it. They don't, like, spoon feed you details, they keep character and intentions fairly vague and character history fairly vague. You get enough to follow the story and for it to keep you invested from scene to scene to scene. Like Chris said, I was never checked out. I was like always invested in each, change of the scenery. But at the same time, like it's they've given us plenty of questions to ask.
This
Like,
show doesn't let you check out. If you do
yeah,
check out for 5 minutes or so, you're gonna find yourself lost. Like, okay,
yeah,
so let's back this up a little bit. This is kind of weird to me. So this plane that landed to pick up Havelock landed in Alaska.
right,
I
right.
take it by interaction from Sydney is that he's from Alaska. So this environment is not new to him. Because she said, why'd you take him home? So, but on top of that, where was this plane coming from? Because they
Oh,
were
see,
going to Dulles, Washington, Dulles Airport in Washington.
right.
Why
So
would we go
here's how
all
I
over?
understand it, and I don't even know if this is actually the case, but here's how I understand it. The plane was from like, when it took off with all those, inmates and
Yeah.
passengers, it was leaving Seattle, which is basically, like, the closest, biggest city, that's closest to Alaska, and
Okay.
they had enough fuel probably to go across the country to go to Dulles International, but instead of doing that, they rerouted and they went north to Alaska to pick up Havelock, and the reason being that Havelock himself was trying to extradite himself across the Bering Strait, where Alaska is connected to Russia?
Yeah.
Like, Havelock was trying to escape America altogether through that Bering Strait and go into Russia to be like, I don't know, what's that one guy, that did the same
Oh,
thing
the
that
WikiLeaks guy.
the WikiLeaks guy, yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's how I took it, but he got captured, was held in some kind of detention center. So the CIA rerouted this plane from Seattle to go get him and I guess bring him back to the lower 48.
With a complete
Um,
black ops without telling marshals or anybody.
right. But in the midst of that, you also have Havelock definitely having some sort of escape plan that's in motion, in play. You mentioned some of the inmates, it seemed like they were on board with it, especially this one scene where this one inmate, he goes and steals the guard's keys. And then because the suction of the airplane, like, he's getting sucked out of the plane, he makes sure to, like, almost directly hand the keys to Havelock. Is that because he was just trying to cause chaos and like, "Oh, yeah, if I can't have the keys and if I'm about to die, well, at least let me hand it over to another inmate?"
Hmm.
Or when I watched it, I was like, "Is he, like, specifically giving the keys to Havlock because he's like some
He
kind of cult
knows.
or something?
Yeah, he knows who he is, kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah, was this, like, part of the plan? So, all these little moments where it kinda gets you questioning, like, "What am I actually seeing here in this moment?" Like, "Is this a
Let's
plan? Is this chaos? Whose plan
let's
is
talk about
it?"
the crazy convict on there, Johnny Knoxville. Did you expect to see Johnny Knoxville? And he is completely into what the hell's going on. Like he has no. You can see in his face. It's funny because the look of confusion he gave when that dude walked and Havelock walked on the plane, and he's seen him so shackled and hooded, and they had the goggles on, and then they were, and the way he had his, hands cuffed like this.
Yeah.
He's like, "What the hell just walked on my plane?"
It's so funny because Johnny Knoxville, he's a known entity, like, he's probably more famous than any other the inmates that cast. I would argue even more than, like, Dominic Cooker or Jason Clarke. Like, Johnny Knoxville's face is, like, more widely recognized,
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
yeah. You
right?
know Johnny Knoxville pretty quickly.
So, like, to cast him as one of the, inmates is kind of like a curious choice. So when I first and he's barely been in these first 2 episodes too. Like,
I think he's
we've seen him.
credited for 3 through,
Yeah,
IMDb.
okay. So about him, like, when we first introduced and the plane crash, we were kinda introduced to this son and father who were, like, out camping near the plane site of the plane
Oh,
crash.
I felt bad immediately. I was like, "Oh, no, they're both gonna die right here."
I was watching it with my mom, and immediately she doesn't like any, kinda stuff happening to kids, so she was, like, worrying about them immediately. It kinda drops the plot point until the end where we see kind of the montage of the first at the end of the first episode where Johnny Knoxville is with them. He's, like, the one leading them away, and I told my mom, I was like, "Well, they're not gonna cast Johnny Knoxville to be some, like, killer where he's gonna, like, harm them. They're probably fine. If anything, maybe he's trying to escape and get them away from the other inmates or something." And then the next episode, like, he's got a knife pointed at them, and it seems like, well, maybe he is a bad guy. Like, I don't know. The
Yeah.
jury's still out, but yeah, the next time that we see that son and his father, the father, I think successfully is able to
Yeah,
tell his son to, like, run
the
away.
kid ran. I don't think anyone's seen him, which now I'm concerned about the dad.
But even then, like, it's nighttime in Alaska, and, like, they're in the wilderness. Like, maybe it's safer for the kid to be running away from these inmates or, there's also, like, bears and wolves and
Well, if you grew up there, I think you know how to survive. But, I
I
mean, yeah,
I
he looks like maybe
I
an
think you're
eight-year-old
right,
boy.
but that at the same time, he's also, like, a kid younger than 10 out
Yeah.
there alone in the Alaskan wilderness at night when it's, like, what, 20 degrees or less?
Yeah, he's like, "Find the road and just go." I don't know, go north. I don't know what he said, but just
Yeah, he was like,
find the road
"Follow
and
the
follow
river,
it.
and I'll take you back to town," or something, but,
Yeah.
so this kid's still not out of danger as far as I'm concerned, but, that must've been a tough call for the dad, but
Dude, I was gutted
yeah.
within the first, like, 15 minutes of the episode because
Mm,
we meet Donnie,
right.
the other marshal, and his wife. He was gonna eat a donut, but his wife said, "2 more pounds, I got some special for you back at home." Like, I was like, "Oh, okay." And then his daughter gives him the painted rock where they're playing hopscotch.
Yeah,
And we should know by now when they're doing these things,
yeah,
it's not gonna end well. And when
right.
he got stabbed 3 times, when he got my first gut was, "Oh, no, dude's dead." Like, I
Oh,
felt
I
that
thought he was dead too.
we just met the guy, and I
Yeah,
felt that. So, I mean, I was like, that right there is great on the show, that you can just meet a character and feel that just 10 minutes into the running of the show, and the character's now, I mean, it sucks, he's passed. And it's like, I felt that for the wife, I felt it for the daughter, I felt it all the characters, Frank, Sarah, you name it. And I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
yeah, it's funny how the show kinda plays with expectations because when you first see him stabbed, you're like, "Oh, well, he's dead. He's probably gonna die right then and there." But then, Remnick actually is able to fight off a lot of the inmates to get back to the helicopter. They get Donnie back onto the helicopter. He's on the hospital or the ambulance gurney, and he even shares some dialogue with Frank. So then the language of cinema, the language of TV show, you're like, oh, well, if he's talking, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just going to be hospitalized and he'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then later in the episode, he gets the call. Oh no, he actually died at the hospital.
Well,
Like
there he was at the hospital. He was talking to Well, no, let's go ahead and watch a clip real quick, because it's going to help us give us context to the hospital situation.
Yeah.
Listen, you're on a medevac to Fairbanks.
Right.
But before you go, I need to know what happened up there.
An inmate got loose and sabotaged the plane.
Which one?
I don't know. We diverted and made an unscheduled pickup.
Diverted where?
I think it was an air base.
An airbase, where?
Middle of nowhere.
I mean, how far from the West Coast?
I don't know.
Okay, it's okay. Just tell me what you physically saw.
I like that with eyes covered.
He was hooded, restrained. They called him Havlock. They said he was high priority and off book.
Yet you still loaded him.
No. Not with the others. We put him in the back.
On whose authority did you
We
load him?
strapped him in, which we never do. It's against protocol to secure an inmate. But this guy was like he knew.
He knew what?
That we were never gonna stop him. This guy is smarter than anyone else. And he just felt that he knew the moment his feet hit the ground, he was gonna be a free man.
I didn't get it at the time.
Yeah.
Watching it, I had no idea. We were actually talking to Havlock. And I think that's fantastic. When they can pull that off, that is awesome.
Yeah, that was a cool switcheroo. And like it made sense after the fact. Like he dipped his fingers in another guy's blood and put it on his face and then covered his eyes. And like there's these little tricks that this guy apparently knows how to implement, Havlock, between the needle, the safety pin that's in the tooth that he used to like, unlock his chains, and like this little trick. It seems like he's been in the game a lot longer than a couple months or a year or two that the show makes you think. Like this guy's such a mystery because we've had one flashback so far, prior to him becoming a part of the CIA or some special black ops thing, where Schofield was like trying to recruit him. She takes him out to dinner, and like he vehemently wanted nothing to do with working for
Yeah.
them. Like they were going after him because of his talents as like a hacker, I guess. Like, why don't you do this black hat stuff? Why don't you come do white hat stuff for me? That kind of thing. Which the CIA and the FBI, they do that kind of stuff all the time. Like hackers out there that like are independent and they do things that like break into corporations or whatever and bypass
Yeah.
firewalls and security. The government will actually hire those people and be like, "How about you do it for us?"
Yeah. Do it on up and up so you can show us the holes in everything that's happening.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like is going on here. But then at the same time, it's like that's not like a one-to-one talent thing. Like usually hackers are behind the keyboard kind of people where they're not
Yeah.
also the same kind of people that go out and are able to like be handcuffed and blindfolded and also like take down 10 men that are going after him in a plane.
But what I'll say though is when we met him at that restaurant,
Yeah.
I don't think he could. I think he gained those skills after Sydney trained him for those skills. When we met him, he was just say the hacker.
Yeah.
And then he gained those skills upon, everything else that took place.
I guess once I get more context about like how long it is like a jump, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Between like how long ago was that flashback? Because if it was just like a year or maybe even like just 2 years, I don't know if I would buy it. Like how long does it take to train somebody to have zero level of like CIA agent experience to all of a sudden
All of a
become
sudden
like
become
super agent? Like you said,
yeah.
he's like Jason Bourne. So it's like, how do you turn somebody into James Bond within just even a couple years? Like that seems like it would be a lifetime of dedication.
Just training and yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're really vague on timeline.
right.
But I guess in time they're gonna go ahead and tell us the rest of it, because I feel like this is gonna be ongoing. I feel we're gonna do a
Yeah,
lot of flashbacks, telling stories of individuals. Like I truly feel like we're gonna find out more about Remnick in Chicago. We're
yeah,
gonna find out more about the beginnings of the relationship between Sydney and Havlock right there. And then what's gonna happen with his kid? His kid and his was it Tate and his girlfriend that skipped school to go up to the cabin. Now
yeah.
there's this inmate that they didn't know is an
Yeah.
inmate. They were taking care of to keep alive up there, and he wakes up at the end.
I don't know because you also have one of the guys working for the marshal like outside of the cabin. The whole time it was like, what is taking this guy so long to get up to this cabin? Like, because the entire episode, Frank is checking in like on the status of like, I haven't heard back from him. Yeah, he's probably on his way. He'll be there
Yeah,
anytime. Finally, at the end of the episode, he shows up and he kind of gives an explainer. It's like, oh well, the Jeep died or got stuck somewhere, so I had to like hoof it up to the rest of the way.
yeah,
Because I was even joking, like, what did he walk there? Like, what's
yeah.
taking this guy so long? But it turns out he did have to walk
Well, the road
partially.
wasn't in good shape either for the kids. Remember?
Yeah,
So
right.
a little bit more. I guess that's within the realm of believable for me. But he
Yeah.
was going to continue the trip just to make sure that the kids were okay.
And all of these inmates, I mean, I think it would be pretty boring to assume that like all 18 to 20 of these inmates that are out and about are all just like these dangerous killers that are just gonna kill civilians if at any moment's notice. You know what I mean? Like we've
Yeah,
already seen that that's not necessarily the case. We've got some people that have done different crimes. Like one was like a money launderer. You
yeah,
know, the guy that was burned up.
yeah. Sickler.
Yeah,
He had
Sickler.
apparently he's been on the hit list of like all these other criminals. They were trying to kill him and burn him, and they couldn't. He's like he considered himself a cat with 9 lives, essentially.
Yeah,
And
so it's like that's one thing too. It's like I don't know if it's safe to assume that each and every one of these guys are like a psycho killer, and just because the guy is wearing an orange jumpsuit and then he's going to wake up and all of a sudden want to kill Luke and his girlfriend or whatever. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. And it's fun that the show kind of plays on that because it's like, how in danger are the civilians at any given moment? Given who they're
yeah,
with, or like Johnny Knoxville, like I talked about earlier. Like, how dangerous is the guy? That's a fun thing to play with. That was one storyline where I was kind of like, was the Luke and his girlfriend getting trapped up at the cabin storyline. That felt to me like a little like, okay, like let's get back to Frank and
let's get
have
back to the
fun.
main thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they got to act. The way it felt like there was going to be all the family members were going to be in peril. So
yeah,
the kid and the girl, I think, are going to be in some type of danger
yeah,
because of what, and it's just based on the trailer and what they kind of show all of them kind of having issues.
yeah.
So,
Um, and then Sarah, the wife, she ends up getting kidnapped by Havlock when he finally
mhm.
reveals to us, the audience, that he is the guy. He's not this marshal that was blinded. He is Havlock. He takes Sarah, who's a nurse from the hospital, apparently takes her back home to Frank's home. He didn't think to check there. I guess Frank didn't go back home that night. But he ends up taking Sarah. This is how we leave episode 2 as well. The mystery of what's inside the igloo cooler.
I was
What's in there?
pissed. I was like, "What?" Oh, I was so mad that they didn't let us know what was in there.
What's in
Um,
there? What do you think?
I have no idea. When I was watching it, worst case scenario was hitting me,
Yeah,
and it was going to be a piece of Sarah of some
right.
sort.
Yeah.
But seeing that they gave us, he opened it and there was a deadpan. I don't think so, but I don't know. Like I don't have an idea.
I don't either because it's like the show's trying to play with our expectations a little bit. Like the igloo cooler even has like smears of blood on it. Like, oh, it's definitely like her ear or her finger or something in there
Well,
or
I mean,
whatever.
he was bleeding, remember? So she had to stitch him back
Right.
up from stabbing him with the freaking antler, trying to
Right. That's
escape.
true. That's another thing during that whole confrontation where she's desperate to escape, and the whole time you don't really see Havelock being like even rude to her. Like, it's pretty rude to kidnap somebody and tie them
Yeah,
up
and
to a
duct
chair.
tape
Like,
him, and yeah,
yeah, it's pretty rude to take somebody's freedom away from them for your own gain. But then at the same time, he's not like yelling at her or threatening her or being like, shut up or I'm going to kill you. Or like, to me, it just seems like she's like this necessary piece or a pawn so he can gain, and he doesn't care to kill her. Like, it almost feels like he gives this sense where it's like this Havelock guy, he's not out to just like destroy this family or kill Frank or whatever. It's just like these are people that are necessary to use in the moment so he can get ahead or
yeah.
get out or get to
He
his
has
main
that
goal.
leverage right now that he's using to progress what his end goal is.
Yeah, so even after he got stabbed in the side, like, he didn't even his temper didn't even flare up then. He basically just kinda controlled the situation, and then, like, he kind of silently walks up to her with the igloo, cooler, and she's like, "Well, what are you gonna do with that?" And then it doesn't let us know, and I guess we won't know until the next episode.
Yeah, Friday maybe. Let's
Yeah.
talk about this real quick. What do you think of the relationship between Sydney and Frank?
I think it's interesting because, like I said before, we know Frank's intentions and he's just trying to keep his people, his town, his family safe and
Yeah.
get all of this chaos that's, invaded his town out
Well,
of
he said
there.
he's searching for 17 or 18.
Right.
She's searching for 1.
And I like that he does not trust her. Like, and it may be he even says to her, like, because she starts talking to him while they're sitting down. They have that conversation where they finally have a meal. Like they feed the warehouse full of agents and the
Yeah.
townsfolk, the volunteers, because one of the people that worked for Frank was able to get like the school lunches or something together. It was like a potluck, right?
Oh, the
And he
chili
starts
mac. I loved how he was looking for the chili mac. That was funny.
I know, and he starts talking to her about the town and about, like, this
Mhm.
is all tradition, these people
Each
choose to be
person.
here,
Yeah. Someone had could have
and
went to San Francisco for a job. They decided to stay here.
right,
And this is a choice, not a mistake.
and, you can see that he deeply cares about this town, these people, he knows it inside and out, so he does not trust her because plainly she's just has not been honest with him,
Oh,
like,
from the
sh
get-go. She's lied to
she's
him right out the
treating
gate,
him
from stealing the tape out of his basement of his
right,
wife
yeah,
to not being forthcoming about who was on the plane when they first met, to the phone call that took place when he was in Alaska still and she was still in DC. I mean, there has not been a truthful interaction really with him yet. The dinner was the most truthful, and then when she was sitting in the stairwell, when
yeah,
she's like, "I need to get him so I can clear my name, so I can show that I can get my life back," and he kind of chuckles about your life,
right.
which I mean he's got a damn good point.
Yeah, like, I don't me as a viewer, I trust her about as much as Frank trusts her because I don't
Mhm.
know her game. I don't even know, like, maybe she is in cahoots with, Havlock this entire
Yeah,
time. I don't know.
we haven't seen her without a Sprite bottle in her hand, so she's been drunk essentially this whole time.
Right.
I
Like,
mean,
and I
even
feel
when
like let's put it this way too, if she was the one to teach Havlock all of these little tricks and how to be a devious, like, talented CIA
she has
agent,
to know him as well.
then she's holding back, and we haven't seen all there is to see from her
Yeah,
character and her capabilities,
you
right?
can't train somebody of something and not know it yourself.
Right, yeah, exactly. So,
So yeah, there's more to her character.
so I think that dynamic between those 2, I think the drama of Frank and his family and Frank protecting the town as a whole in general, I think the multiple plots you have with all these different inmates that are kinda spreading themselves around the town, once again, like the added environment, the limited light they have, even just limited daylight to be able to
Yeah.
search for these people. It's all kind of culminating in this very interesting dilemma up here. And I'm so far, man, when I texted you today, I was like, so far, so good.
Yeah. No, okay. So I think we're both thumbs up. First
Yeah.
episode. I think we both really enjoyed it. Before we kind of came on, I said there was a little bit of a hesitation for me.
Okay.
And the only reason I hesitate a little bit is this is a TV show. How long can they run with this storyline of this guy that wants to bring down the CIA? Like, how long before the story gets stale? Like, are we? I don't know if we're looking at a show that's been signed on for 3 seasons. I don't know if it's a
Mhm.
one season to see if it is successful, and then they have more story to go with it. How long are
Right.
they going to string us along before we actually get some type of resolution before this show becomes lost?
My assumption would be if they were continue or so far, I'm just taking this as like a one and done season, even though no TV season sets out to be a one and done
Yeah,
season of television, right? They all want to continue. Um, but my first thought would be that they would just move on. Like this will be a self-contained story about this event of the plane crash in Alaska. And then like the setting would change, or maybe even some of the characters or most of the characters would change between seasons, and you would have some kind of new dilemma with the CIA versus, hell, maybe even the CIA versus Frank. Maybe at the end of this, Frank and Havlock are on the run together or something. Like, you never know how this is going to end, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the way, like, the different Jason Bourne movies or the different Jack Ryan movies have their own unique dilemmas with, like, the same characters but just different circumstances. I feel like you could continue it that way. But then again, this show is called The Last Frontier, right?
So it
So
has to be in Alaska. It's got to be somewhere remote. So really, we couldn't leave the area.
right. So that would definitely make more sense. So I don't know. That's a good question to be had. Like, how do you that would be a little crazy to me if you were to try to stretch this particular story out across multiple seasons. Like, how long are they going to be out there?
Yeah, how long can this actually go? But you know what? That is a very small critique right now. We're 2 episodes into
Yeah,
what seems to be a good show, an enjoyable show. A lot of questions. Hopefully, they can answer a couple questions and then they give us more.
right.
Answer a question, give us a new question. Answer this question. So we're not like chomping at the bit. Like, okay, you gave me 4 more questions. You didn't answer the past 5 type
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
exactly.
But I'm in. I like it. I'm good to go.
Yeah, episode 3 will premiere on Apple TV Plus this coming Friday, the 17th of October. You and I will be back, I guess Monday nights. Are we planning to
Yeah, right
do
now we're gonna be doing Monday
reviews?
nights. Yeah.
So the Monday night after the premiere each week, we'll discuss. So I think there's going to be 10 episodes in total, which I think that schedules out to be, I think maybe the final episode around December 5th or so. So it's going to take us into the holidays, which is nice. Got our little snowy scene down at the bottom. I created that with AI, by the way.
That'd be cool, if you can wrap some like Christmas lights around the wing or something.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Um,
if you enjoyed that, join us each week, 8:30 Monday. We're gonna be talking the Last of Us, the Last Frontier, Last of Us. Maybe I don't know when that comes back. And and if you guys are with us all the time, we're Dadnarok. First and foremost, we're family. We love pop culture. That's why we do the show. But what do you guys, what you guys been up to?
um, we have been up to quite a bit. I don't know. Did I tell you my mom got her own place? My mom lived at my house for, oh my gosh, almost 5 years or so
Was it
here
that
with us
long?
in the house. Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been here since 2020. So and she was here. We were only here maybe a year and a half before she moved in with us. So she's been
I
here.
didn't realize that was that long. I knew she was with you
Yeah.
for a little while, but I didn't realize that long.
So that was a big thing. I mean, she got her own apartment. So a couple weekends ago, like we rented the old U-Haul truck, and like I cannot believe somehow she only had one bedroom in this house, but she was able to furnish an entire two-bedroom apartment with all the
Oh, dude,
stuff.
I've known your mom, but dude, I believe 100%.
Between all the stuff that she had stored away in our basement and all the stuff that was jam-packed in her bedroom, like, she was able to, like, fill out a whole she also got a new couch, I got her a new TV and, like but just actually, her place is really nice. I went over there to watch the first episode of this, I got on her new TV that I got her, but, it's nice, it's different, because
How does she
sometimes
feel being like in her own place and having her own space and everything again?
it's a change, but I think it's a good one because it's like we've been spending like Sundays over there. We'll go over and watch football while she has something cooking on the crock pot or whatever. So
Okay.
it's
Oh,
nice to
she
have
needs
like
to
our own
make a
space.
ham, a bone-in ham.
Oh yeah,
I remember how
and
you couldn't even look at them anymore because that was
oh, I
like the
know.
same meal you had. Was it Sunday? It was a weekend. I think it may have been Sundays,
Yeah,
like for years.
yeah. And then I went without it for years, and now it's like you can't even get the same ham around here. You've got to like I don't know what it is, but the butchers are different or something around here, Kentucky versus Jersey.
Versus Jersey.
Um, But it's nice, like, my Verona's already, like, spent the night with her one night over there, since she's been there, so it's definitely a big change for us, but I think it's been a pretty nice one.
How far is she
Um,
away from where you guys are at?
it's like 20 minutes, so it's not that bad.
Okay, so far enough, but not too far.
Yeah,
Kind
exactly,
of like
and she moved to, like, a different part of town than we're used to being in that's actually built up a lot over the last few years, so it's nice because it's like, well, now she's got a bunch of, like, she has access to a bunch of different restaurants and stores that aren't close to us. You know what I mean? So it's
Okay,
now
yeah.
if she's got like a Wawa that's 2 miles down the road from her. I'm jealous.
Oh, okay. Oh, she hit the jackpot.
She did. But yeah, so far so good. So that was a big change for us. And then Verona's been taking acting classes. We enrolled her. She's got theater at school, which
Okay.
is apparently a whole year thing. Like they're gearing up to like first they're doing like where they're learning to write their own scripts and learning about the different ins and outs of theater, all leading up to them actually either writing or like inheriting a play from their teacher that they're going to perform. And it's going to be like an hour long play or something
Oh, wow,
that
that's
like
production.
yeah, like her class is gonna perform at the end of the year, so they're like we'll be gearing up for that kind of thing, which she loves. I guess I'm raising a little theater kid or something because she loves it. And then we got her enrolled in this like separate like improv slash acting class thing that's separate that she does Saturday mornings, which is fun because she actually knows a couple kids she goes to school with
Oh,
there.
that's
So there's
awesome.
also other kids from around the region and stuff, and she's doing like improv, and she already has like a script for a play that she got a part in that she's reading, and we've like read with her a few nights to get her lines down and stuff. So she's doing good in
You
sixth
got a
grade.
little
She's
Glee
middle school
kid.
now.
Next thing you know, she'll be singing and dancing on stage.
I
That is
know
awesome.
she took singing lessons. She's still singing in the car, belting out tunes on the way to school every day. So
She's finding her people. That's what she's doing.
she's definitely finding her people. That's for sure.
That is awesome. So it sounds like you're got a lot going on.
We've been
Um,
busy, yeah.
for my side, I mean, we've talked about in the past. Zach's soccer schedule is nonstop.
Yeah.
Um, he's earned the number one spot on his team, so he's a number
Oh,
one keeper. Which
one of
it
three
could
or
be
one of two?
one of well, okay. So we'll back this up a little bit. So the beginning of the season, we told the coach we had a Disney trip planned for the first week of October.
Yeah.
He was okay. He said, okay, you know what? No big deal. Put it in team snap, which is the communication for the team. So I put him not available for a week. And at the time, there was only one game scheduled for when he was out.
Mhm.
Come closer to it, now there's 3 games scheduled. He's the number one keeper.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I just reminded coach, say, dude, we'll be out of town. Nothing we can do about it. Good luck. We hope things go well.
A bought and paid for vacation that's been planned for months and months, by the
A
way.
year, essentially a year.
Right.
So it's like, you know what? Tough luck. I'm sorry. It's youth soccer.
Yeah.
No scouts are here. But they go 1-1-1 when he's out of town.
While he's out,
And
yeah.
we hear through Zach and his friends, coach was very not happy, we'll put it that way, with Zach being out of town. So I was like, okay, pump the brakes. We'll get back in town. We'll get going again. So he
Yeah.
comes back to practice on Thursday. So we get back to town on Wednesday evening. He comes back to practice on Thursday.
Right.
There's a third keeper at practice, a kid from Cincinnati.
Yeah, which there hadn't been before. It was just him and
There
another kid.
wasn't. It was just
Yeah.
2 kids. So we're like, is he so pissed off at Zach he's gonna be vindictive and not roster him on this game this past Sunday?
Yeah.
So I was waiting on pins and needles, waiting for this roster to come out. Is Zach on it? Is Zach on it? Is this other kid on it? What's the deal?
Right. Right.
Come to find out, Zach was on it. No big deal. But he didn't start the game. Now we come to find out that later, Zach told me, "Oh, coach made an error." He
Oh,
said the
okay.
other kid's name on accident, and he let him run out there. So Zach was
Yeah.
going to play the second half of the game or the first half of the game.
Yeah.
Now this happened, and
Oh.
because this has never happened to any of our games, and I don't like that this happened, even though it benefited Zach. 5 minutes into the game, the other kid lets up an easy goal. Coach pulls him. I mean,
Oh.
it was a quick hook. It was like
Yeah.
it happened, and Zach said he turned around and looked at me and said, "I am so tired of giving up easy goals. Get your gloves on, get in." And he pulled him out, and Zach comes in. Zach gave up another goal. I haven't watched the recording yet, but based
Yeah.
on what happened, it wasn't very different from the first goal I was giving up. It was
Right.
a bunch of things that took place in front of him that were wrong, and then the goal happened.
Yeah.
But Zach played the rest of the game, and it was you think of a Rocky, fighting freaking Apollo or anything. It
Yeah.
was one of those it was a slug match. We
Yeah.
wound up winning 4-3, and Zach had a PK stop. He stopped the penalty.
Mm.
So, and coach was praising him. But I feel terrible about that because I don't want to hear the other kid get tore down because
Right.
they're so tight. They're close. These Zach and Jackson are good friends. They're both cheering each other on. They both love it when one is successful. And we're U13. These boys are 12, and Jackson is barely 12. Like
Yeah.
Jackson was a year older. So Zach has a hard time with coach really getting on him because
Yeah.
he had such a high bar for himself.
Right.
The other kids never battled for a position before. It's always been his.
Right.
So it's kind of that concern. But we have a big tournament we're going into this weekend, and they need to roster 2 goalies on both teams. So that's why I think they brought the other kid in, so it'll be a proper, roster for both. But I mean, we had that. Disney was great. Disney has always been fun.
You guys are back to Disney again.
Back at Disney again. It's gotta be a few years again before we go back because we're
No,
saving.
it won't be. Will you proclaim it to the world right now that you are a Disney adult?
I am absolutely a Disney adult. I will go ahead and I met Jack and Sally. There's some pictures on there. I'll put up on our Dadnarok page of pictures with who was it? Pluto and Mickey and Goofy. I mean, I absolutely it's all such a I have a blast meeting those characters. I don't meet anyone else. I meet the main ones.
Yeah.
And that's about it because we do them at meals. But
I think the most time you're going to take off is 1 year. I think by 2027 you'll be back.
If I save up enough, I'm going to try to surprise somebody with a solo trip. Just me and my mom.
Yeah.
If I can do enough, that's the only way it's going to happen. Janessa's parents has their 50-year anniversary coming up in 2 years, and they want to do a week-long cruise. And there's no getting out of this for me. So the money's got to be saved going towards that.
Not a Disney cruise.
They're so indoctrinated through news networks that they'll never step foot in Disney. Period. We got her mom a shirt.
Oh no!
And she wouldn't wear it. It went up at a yard sale. It wasn't even a Disney shirt. It was just a restaurant in Disney, and it wound up it wound up at the yard sale. And Janessa grabbed it, brought it home.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, we love it down there. It's a different trip every time. The kids were old enough. We went down to the boardwalk. There was a board down there called Abracadabra. Janessa and I were in there like 4 times out of the week. The guy made a specialty drink, and it was fun having the kids old enough so we can leave them in the room for a minute and walk down and kind of have maybe an hour just to ourselves.
Yeah, I bet that would be nice. I make fun, but I mean, Disney does have a lot of things for Disney adults. And to be fair, you guys are Disney parents who are Disney adults. You're not like the childless people that go down there every year to feel like children.
But Janessa and I did take a solo trip.
Wow.
No, there's a lot. I mean, one of the parks that we did the least in, but the most in. And I say that because Epcot, they had the World Showcase.
Yeah.
And we really didn't walk around the showcase so much. There's a lot of rides we did there. And the showcase is kind of one of my favorite parts, but we just didn't get to it. And I feel like we did a lot more this trip. And I actually wound up with what they call the Disney rash.
Yeah.
Because I put in 23,000 steps in one day. And my ankles swelled up. One of them, my right ankle swelled up 3 times the size. My left arm was double the size. And there was like a rash with bumps going up it. And it said it's just the heat and exercise. You put more in than you're used to.
Yeah.
And it just becomes it gets bad.
How hot was it down there?
We were pushing 85, 90 during the day. But it wasn't like swimming weather though. It was a weird, like I told Janessa, I said October is not our time again. When we go back, I'm not gonna say if. When we go back, it's gonna be back in the summer times where it's like 110 degrees outside during the day, and the crowd's different. The pool time for the kids was different.
Yeah.
The whole vibe was a little different. But the Halloween party was fun.
What month? So how many? What number trip was this? Was this your 5th time?
Let me see. The kids. Kids had 4 trips, and then I had an individual trip. Yeah, with me and Janessa. So we've been down there 5 times now.
What months have you been down there? Those 5 times, what months were they in?
June, July, August.
So summer.
My trip with Janessa was middle of November because it was Christmas, the Christmas
Okay.
party, and then we did the Halloween here in October.
I gotcha. So you've had a taste of a little bit. I was wondering what it's like in December or January where it's like, or even February where it's cold as heck here in the Ohio Valley, and if it's nice to just head down to Florida for a week when it's like super cold up in this area, this
Yeah.
region.
Oh, it was a 20-degree swing. We got on the plane, it was 85 degrees.
Yeah.
It was like 65 when we landed here in Ohio.
Mm.
That was a shock to the system. But I found it was no different rain-wise. We got rained on, I think, more this trip than we have in the middle of June.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the weather was no different, besides maybe just 10. I say only 10 degrees because 10 degrees is a big deal down there. But I was like, I'd rather have swamp ass and be able to go swimming and enjoy it.
What about did you pick up any new memorabilia, any new mugs or anything?
I got a new Disney bug because the only one I didn't have was a Disney bug. We overshopped a little bit. We had to ship shit back.
Oh, oh my gosh.
I got a Tower of Terror, basically long sleeve shirt. I got one for Zach too. Oh my god, Zach about pissed his pants on that ride. That was so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, his face. I've got some ride pictures, and I got a bunch I haven't put up yet.
Yeah.
But that was fun. Rock and roller coaster. His first inverted roller coaster
Wow.
we did there. So that was a good time. Yeah, but it was just a ton of stuff. We did so much. Like Rise of the Resistance, the big Star Wars ride down, just doesn't get old.
Mm-hmm.
So, but seeing stormtroopers walk around, them talking, meeting Mando was fun. So yeah,
Well, Dadnarok was around for your very first Disney vacation, so it's fun that you get to report back every now and then
yeah. So
with your latest adventure.
if I can pull off and save enough money on my own, like outside of the family budget,
Yeah.
I'll be making another solo trip down. Now, solo trip would be interesting, but I'm not a solo person.
No, you're not.
I don't
I
even
would
go
love, me
into.
personally, I would love a solo adventure.
I don't even go to the theater by myself.
I do. I go out to eat by myself. I go to the theater by myself. Any excuse I could like just take a drive to by myself. But I'm just, I'm always surrounded.
Yeah, I don't even
No,
like being up by myself at home
I
for
love
too
my
long.
family. Okay, I love my family. I love my family.
I'm tired of mine. No. Oh man.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for this week. Join us again next Friday. No, don't join us Friday. We won't be here. Join us
We won't
next
be here
Monday.
Friday. You'll be all by yourself on Friday.
A week from today. What is today? The 13th. So October 20th, we'll talk about the third episode of The Last Frontier. Be sure to watch it. If you haven't seen it yet for whatever reason, and you decided to watch us before you watch The Last Frontier, it's worth it. Check it out. Especially if you're like a fan of like 90s action movies, like Con Air or even just like the 2000 stuff with like the Bourne series. There's a little mix of like espionage, fun, like action. It feels very 90s, 2000s action movie. So you should definitely check it out if you're into that.
Okay, guys. Well, I guess until we see you next week, I've got no good tag log anymore. Yeah, keep it cheesy.
See ya.